Hi everyone, this is Paul Fouché, Chief Investment Officer at New Road Capital, just giving you your July monthly update. So in general, July, another good month for markets. You had all the major indices, equity indices in the world, having a good return for July. So if you look at the ALSI, the local all share, that was up 2.3%. Then MSCI World, which is your developed market equities, up about 1.3%, and then emerging markets up 2%. So all in all, good across the board. Going into the inflation numbers, if you look at inflation in the US, another print came out. Core inflation still kind of slightly ticked up from where it's been, the lows of the recent past. At the lows were 2.8, it's sitting at about 2.9 now. And then headline inflation running up to about 2.7, but still very much under control. We believe we do think from the tariffs you might see some step up price changes, but not long run inflation. So we still think inflation story under control. The US Fed did meet to discuss interest rates and decided not to cut rates again. Obviously, that caused some consternation between Trump and the Fed. Obviously, Trump wanting the Fed to cut rates quicker than they are. So we'll keep watching that story. But ultimately, at the moment, no real inflation threats. And we think probably is space for the Fed to start cutting soon. We would kind of tend to agree with Trump on that. If you look at food and energy, so oil jumped a little bit, flat mostly for the month, dipped and then recovered. So oil actually sort of flat for the month. And then wheat, the price of wheat coming down consistently. So that food and energy inflation is actually deflationary at the moment and should start to unwind some of that inflation as well. If you look at South African inflation, our core inflation down at 2.9%, the lowest it's been in a while. And then the headline inflation sitting at about 3% now. So we've had the Reserve Bank actually did come out and dropped our rates by 25 basis points. Welcome. We've been wanting to see that for a while now. So we did get a welcome 25 basis point cut. Inflation very much under control on the South African side. The Reserve Bank is looking to target a flat 3% now instead of the 3.6% currently as the official target. Still going to be changed officially, but unofficially they're targeting that 3%. But we're sitting smack bang at that target at the moment. So a nice cut there for our local rates. The exchange rate, so it started the month US dollar rand, started the month at about 17.75 and ended the month at 18.20. So quite a weakening in the rand, mostly in the second half of the month, actually the last kind of third of the month. And we think the majority of that was actually just carry trade trading. So obviously we lowered our rate by 25 bips, whereas the US actually kept their rate flat. So it makes the differential between the two sort of less attractive. And that's why you saw a bit of a weakening in the rand. But on the back of that, you saw a great rally in our local bonds, which we continue to like. We've liked for a long time. Local bonds up 2.7% for the month. And a lot of that on the back of that interest rate drop. So we really still like the bonds, still yielding very nicely. The real yield between us and the US on the 10-year is still north of 5%. So still very juicy, nice yield there, considering that our inflation numbers are actually not too different. So you're getting compensated by about 5.76% with no additional inflation risk by owning our bonds over the US bonds. If you look at developed market bonds, down for the month. So that means yields going up there. We think still just on fears of potential inflation coming through. As I said, we think there will be some inflation step ups, like price step ups, but not ongoing long run inflation, which are two different things. So yeah, a little bit of a reduction in bonds, but we still like US bonds. We think they're offering a great buying opportunity at the moment. And yeah, we'll continue to hold those. But all in all, a really good month again for markets. The funds have done very well through the month, beating benchmarks quite substantially. But yeah, we'll keep you posted. Obviously, this is the 4th of August. So we did have the 1st of August where, the US tariffs have kicked in globally. There was a little bit of a sell-off in the markets, but nothing too extreme. We think more just probably, it's one of those things sometimes, once you get the fact out, things sell off a bit, but then they start to recover. So we've already seen, markets and futures are up this morning. The ALSI's up almost 1% and futures are up offshore as well. So yeah, still positive, still bullish on the markets. But as always, if you need anything, don't hesitate to give me or the team a shout, and we'll chat soon. And otherwise, give you your August update at the end of the month. All the best. Bye.